Welcome back to Good to Be With You. We're here at the Billabong Pro Tahiti. We've got Heat 9 of Round 2 hitting the lineup with Josh Kerr up against Stuart Kennedy, their first head-to-head heat. Now it looks like we have a decent set approaching. Stu Kennedy's on the inside. Josh letting him have a think about it before swinging on this one. Dropping to the bottom. He's going to go to turns. Little snap under the lip there. So no tube on offer, so he just gets busy. Linking together moves right through to the inside, a very critical last turn. And that worked out pretty well for Josh, because Stu, he could have certainly got some turns done on that one as well.
Yeah, I'm confused how Stu let that wave go. He could be one of the surfers today that we've seen culprit to just getting too picky, looking for a traditional hollow wave here. Today it's a bit different. You know, you can get great scores on your backhand, or I mean, sorry, on medium-sized waves just going for turns. That's exactly what happened here for Josh. He answered my question. I was curious to how he'd perform on his backhand. Just okay right here, but watch this snap. Much better effort right there, right in a tight pocket, so it's critical. And then a very exciting closing turn there for Josh, you know, right in the heaviest part of the wave. So you talk about commitment. The judges will really love that last maneuver from Josh. So right here is just okay, but that third snap and that fourth snap, that's going to bring that score up. Waves were not, you know, giant, but it was definitely, you know, big enough. And, you know, he really was smart how he stayed busy. I think a lot of the big wave, typical big wave surfers were kind of stubborn and sitting at the back waiting for that big bomb.
Over there in Mexico, that was mind-blowing. Twiggy Baker had a victory there, but Piahi and Nazare, we're going to get the opportunity to perhaps see our competitors out there when the swirls come together. But Josh Kerr just throwing everything at that first section and going over the falls. 22.5 minutes to go. He had a 7 on his first wave. Stu Kennedy has been quiet.
I think Josh is going to be very content hearing that number drop from the judges. Just getting the nod for surfing, very committed, clean. You know, he didn't really bog down any rails. He kept up a lot of momentum through that wave. And it got better and better, which is always nice to finish on a high note like that. So for that 7, you know, half of his job is done. So I think for Stu, a little bit of pressure.
Well, Stu Kennedy trying to get himself under the ledge here. He is going to be taking off late. Great control though, and he pulls the nose of his board up. He's in there with the spit, but somehow doesn't find his way through that pit, and he goes down. He waited a long time for that wave.
Sorry, Ron. Yeah, that's a crazy bullet dodge for Josh. You saw him look over his shoulder. He knew that had Stewie come out of that barrel, he was looking at, you know, potentially an excellent score. That was one of the more kind of gutted out barrels we've seen today.
An opportunity to really solidify a position without grinding through those QS ranks. And this might be his chance to get back in this heat and perhaps into the third round. Stalling for a moment. Not a lot of cover, so there won't be too many points in the barrel. But he links together some decent turns on the inside, finishing with a tough floater to complete that ride as Josh Kerr looks to answer back under the lip. Nice little snap there. And setting up the tube. Great control. Almost caught the nose edge as he rode out of that barrel, but lifted it just in time to find the exit.
All right, a couple of good waves there. Unfortunate for Stuart. You could see, you know, because he kind of committed to that last turn, he's got to take that dreaded walk over that crazy reef right there. I think it was worth it for him, though. That was a really pretty cat-like skills on that last move for him to climb that lip like that and pull it off. I think a misread here from Josh. He went for maneuvers. I think that was his decision as he took off. But you know, that wave was kind of hollow right out of the gate. So he sort of got that under the lip, but he really did get stuck between two plans there. So a misread from Josh. I think excellent control here from Stewie Kennedy. I think he let go of the brakes and committed to turns at the right time. There's that agility right there. That was a tough move to get that board up over the lip, and he managed to pull it off.
We were talking a lot about his bottom turns on the Gold Coast, and it looks like he's got a pretty decent foundation there on the backhand as well, really getting low as he pivots off the bottom into that lip.
One of my favorite things about this job we have, Ronnie, is just catching a look at these guys free surfing, and you really get a good glimpse right away of how talented they are. And I saw some really good stuff from Stewie in Fiji. You know, hours and hours of free surfs there out at Cloudbreak, and he's very strong on his backhand. He's got great fundamentals, his foundation, how strong he is with his legs, but also great technique. He has a really tight arc off the top.
Well, he's about to put his best number up, and it's going to narrow the requirement. But Josh Kerr's also going to better his position. So Stu Kennedy puts away a 4 with 15 minutes to go. Josh is going to better that though. The judge is giving him some payoff for those barrel rods.
Yeah, that was interesting. I thought it was a bit of a misread from Josh, but it was a beautiful wave. And a lot of times the judges will give you credit if it's a big wave and it has a lot of quality in it. 5.17. Almost thought that was going to be the other way around between Josh and Stu, but so for Kersey, he's going to take that to the bank.
Just over 5 minutes to go. Let's look back at the highlights from this heat. Started off nicely for Josh Kerr, bagging a 7 on his first wave on turns.
Yeah, I was impressed. I thought he started decent, just was kind of connecting, and then right here he really found that critical section and had a crisp snap. And this one even better. Look at how tight that hook is there. That's a pretty heavy transition to deal with. And Josh, very agile, just getting the nose out of the water just in time to finish that wave off. So again, he was feeling very good about that 7. Here's the 4 that we were talking about there. No real big heavy maneuvers, but I love the agility on that last maneuver for him to get his board up on the lip before he finished that wave off. There's that under the lip. I can guarantee you that's not really what he drew up, but that wave was more hollow than he anticipated. Even a second one was almost an accident. He kind of got under the hood, but as Strider said, it was a bit dramatic, and he did have good reflexes and grabbed a 5 over Stewie's 4. I think he's going to be a serious threat in that heat. He should be the favorite.
Here goes Stu Kennedy without priority, tapping into a nice looking wave here. Good technique, maximising his time behind the curtain, and he wants out of there. Could have perhaps got a little bit more time in the barrel on the inside and found a doggy door over the dry reef, but instead electing to get back out there.
That was pretty gutsy, or maybe not very smart for Josh to let that wave go. He had priority, so that must have been stressful for him to watch that wave from behind. That was a good barrel. It kind of got away from Josh, so maybe he didn't feel like chasing it down. The one thing that's going to keep this score from going very big is he got out of the barrel kind of quick. So right here he's slotted. He's deep in there, even kind of up and over the foam ball for a second. Right there, he's trying to step on the brakes again, but again, this wave has the tendency to really push you out when you don't want to. So, Stewie was trying to stay back up in the barrel as deep as possible. They'll maximize the whole wave all the way to the bitter end, and that really does make the difference sometimes in these close heats.
Well, Stu Kennedy has given himself an opportunity. He's put his best number up, a 7. So he needs a 5.17, but he's running out of time. Just 10 seconds remaining here. Wow. Josh Kerr holding priority. Stu making a move for an insider here. Can he get to his feet in time? It looks like he will, but he's got to tear this wave apart, and it's going to fade. And the frustration on show there. But it was interesting in the end. Josh Kerr has done enough. As he makes his way in, he's going to get barreled on his way back to the channel. A heat score total of 12.17. He's through.